Don't get paid. Yeah, there is a living truth out of these words. Soldiers are the same as assassins, only they work for politicians and they don't get paid. Ooh, very true. And in Daggermark they don't make much effort to hide it. Do you have a family? My people don't brook to trade with assassins. The family I'm from are honest merchants and loyal worshippers of Torak. By now they must think I'm dead. They'd be appalled if they found out how things really stood. As for my other family, I got one of those too. On my travels I met a woman, fair and kind. For her I laid down my weapon, got a house, became a simple city dweller. We had a daughter. We lived like that for a year and a half, before the road called me back. I love her, but that life, it was like I was being buried alive. I was ready to kill myself, just to end the torturous meaninglessness. I... Only the road could cure me of those thoughts, but for some reason I keep going back to that house I once lived in, to the woman I once loved, to the daughter I don't even really know, who doesn't know me. I watch from afar. I don't have the right to return to their lives. Mora, my daughter, I don't know what she is to me. The biggest mistake of my life or the greatest mark I'll leave on the world. I feel sorry for you. Sometimes you have to pay for love with suffering or regret. You had a family to take care of and you abandoned them. That's despisable. Keep on whining like that and you lose my respect. But she could have gone traveling with you, couldn't she? Chaotic. You're despisable. You're right. I shall let you whittle that out for me. What brought you to the World Wound? A lot of good jobs here and not many competitors. A lot of dangerous demons and every one of them has gobbled up someone's son, wife or a best friend. And who do they come to for vengeance? To the Crusaders. They're bound up by their orders and they'll lack the necessary skills. The people who hire me don't want to wait until the crusade ends, if it ever will. That's where I come in, ready to deliver targeted vengeance today for a generous fee. The only thing that doesn't stick with him is a pure slayer, alright? There is an assassin. He should have been an assassin. Simple as that. What's your opinion on the crusade? And life, I said, I see much difference between me and the Crusaders. Times now aren't like they were during the first crusade. Nowadays the ranks of the Crusaders are filled with fugitives, opportunists, exiled nobles, fortune hunters, and lads who just plain love carnage. And all of them should thank the gods that the World Wound is still open, otherwise they'd be busy with robbery and murder. And when they met me in the street, they'd not be wearing noble scowls, but taking off their hats and addressing me as sir. Don't you dare compare Crusaders to criminals. They're fighting against a demon invasion. Crusaders are guided by their duty and loyalty to the Queen, not money. You're right, sometimes I wonder how these fools still haven't figured it out. Don't you dare compare Crusaders to criminals. They're fighting against a demon invasion. Yes, against demons, but what are they fighting for? What's in their heads? Maybe they're just like chopping up monsters. Don't fool yourself, Crusaders aren't all saints. Some just like carnage and the thrill of the fight. Satisfy my curiosity. Tell me about your craft. Any master of his craft, I can talk for hours about the subtleties of my trade and my finest works. Would you prefer to test me yourself? What's the most important thing in assassin's work? The first rule of an assassin: bring the head back with you. Seriously though, tactics and equipment are what matters. The winner isn't the strongest, but the one who strikes first. So long, as that's also last. When I get a job, I don't rush into things. Let the victim know they're being hunted. Let them reinforce their guards, trust no one, and fall into paranoia. And only when the victim is exhausted, at the end of their tether, do I come in to wish them sweet dreams. It might sound funny, but believe me, no one's laughing in that room. Are you haunted by remorse? Not at all. Met a lot of good people, but many of them had a generous price on their heads. Everyone is torn in someone else's side. For some reason, folks imagine the good lads have fair right to ruin the lives of the bad ones, and not the other way around. How you doing, Kevin? How's the electric toothbrush? It's only the mortals of the majority determines who's good and who's villain. Those morals shift every day. I've been to many different places, talked to many different people, and the morals were different everywhere. Killing for gold is horrible. How do you sleep at night? Your words are true. Self-reproach is for weaklings and cowards. Lords, judges, and priests should deliver death sentences, not you. Some people just have to die, and the sooner the better. I'm sure you killed a lot more scumbags than good people. Killing good people doesn't tend to pay very well. It's dangerous, twisted, bloody sons of bitches who fetch the highest bounty. That's why they're my speciality. You must value your reputation a great deal. Of course, in my line of work, reputation is everything. Keeps away the random fools who are looking for a fight. The right people know I can be trusted. Anyone who has no care for the reputation is no better than a frog-eating kobold. There's no doing business with those hacks. The best you can do is to use them for a job and then kill them afterwards. Whereas I, as a professional with a name, demand respect from the client. Tell me about your best murder. Man, you talk a lot. Ooh. Let me see when my dinner is gonna be ready. The most difficult one was a professor at the Clockwork Cathedral in Absalom. The very existence of this wizard mechanic was a secret, and almost nobody knew his face or his name. Hunt him down was a symphony of violence and hard tactics. He had to sneak through his secret underground palace that looked like a wind-up dollhouse put together by a psychopath. No rational mind could have invented such intricate traps, and there were mechanical cutlass spiders everywhere. They nearly took 2 fingers and an ear. The professor was a dangerous bloke. Day and night he wore a deadly mechanism as a sort of armor, which made him look like an 8-legged, stream-spewing winged monster. But I came prepared. A tomb raider from Asylum had taught me how to avoid the traps. And I opened up his armor suit with a lick-toed goblin sword. It's not even a sword, more like a giant can opener. They used them to pull fallen knights from their armor to devour leather. But I digress. I tore open his armor and saw his true form. Don't ask me what it was, I'll just say it was very unexpected. The mechanic went berserk and attacked me with incredible force. He was too much for me and I had to flee. The fool thought he'd won until he realized I'd reassembled all his traps into a giant death machine. 2 minutes after I escaped, his palace turned into a cloud of dust. Without his immaculate armor, my mark was sent on his merry way to, well, I suppose he's on a plane for broken golems and music boxes. You worship any of the gods? It's my family way to worship Toreg, but he's not my god. Many craftsmen venerate Toreg, and I consider my work a craft. Toreg priests also say the abhors murder. Either way, I name another god as my patron, Norgober, the god of dark and unlawful actions. He and I will have an understanding. Norgober Blackfingers is my patron. Unlike many of the other gods, he himself was once mortal, which makes him honest. His teachings are built upon the grim truths of the streets that raised me. Norgober will not try to fool you. He will never demand that you achieve perfection. After all, everyone knows that he is not perfect himself. Countless psychopaths and other scum worship him too. Butchers who conducted mass murders call him Father Skinsaw. Bone-headed street vermin thank the Grey Master for a bunch of coins they managed to wrest away from a passerby. And of course, the most despisable of them all, Those who praise Norgober as the Reaper of Reputation. Those disgusting rotten rats. Politicians. What do you think of your new powers? A nice bonus. My career is in for an upturn. Who knows, maybe one day I'll pull a truly mythical job. A deity or a demon lord. Or something of that sort. Do you like working for me? Not especially. Our ideas about life are different, and I don't think we can be friends. I mean no disrespect, but I had clients that like it better. I want to know more about your last client. He decided to remain anonymous, but I suspect his name is Vilodus. I already struck off a few lesser demons for him, and later in Kinabres a stronger one. And in the battle for Dresden, the client insisted I kill the demon with the dagger he gave me, and tell the wretch that Vilodus said hello. According to my client, one stab would be enough. The thing that happened inside Dresden when he wanted to assassinate that thing. It turned out differently. The demon survived. A stain on my reputation. I don't know why he got it wrong. Simply incompetence. Or did he set me up to fail? Either way, I'd love to have another chat with this Vilodus. So that will be his quest. Ah, that's it. Bloody hell. I read way too much. We recruited him. We're gonna go to the citadel, to the castle, and fuck me if I know what's next. Let me see the way. I also need to check the journal. There is a lot now. There is a lot in the citadel. Yeah, but it's not bullshit, okay? It's not stupid reading, okay? It was written well. It was really, really written well. Even the smallest of stories are written well. Notes that you find along the way. But it would be great with voice narration, you know. It would be fucking great with full voice acting. 10 times more relaxing, at least for me. For you people, it's whatever when I read it. But I get tired out of it. Harmatan. Hail Commander. Before you an aged yet fit and sturdy Garundi stands at attention. His dark skin has an earthy tone to it. Crystals sparkle forth from where his hair and eyebrows should be, clearly identifying him as an Orid. Captain Hartman, chair of your staff council by order of Her Majesty Queen Galfric, here to deliver a report. The first Orid we met. I can't read anything at all, come on. Don't troll me. Imagine me in my free time reading books now. I've been spending 20 days to release builds and guides for this game. And then I've been playing since it was out, you know, reading aloud everything there is. And now you say, read a book, baby. Tell me that in 2 years from now. I'm on the council too. Scylla salutes briskly. We'll be wrecking our brains or how to improve troop morale. I reckon the key is to back up our words with actions. Lead your soldiers by example and they'll be eager to follow. Drawing on my experience as paralictor, my advice is to maintain calculated moderation in every regard. Be it incentive or a penalty. And to be decisive. We had no need for doubts or turmoil. I'm doomed to be your advisor, but do you know what that means? That you're doomed to listen to my advice. To start things off, here's an incredibly novel and deep thought for you. Loyalty, passion, and morale. All of these can easily be bought with money. Permission to report. We encountered a problem. Though we're still getting volunteers, we're now seeing cases of desertion. Many who joined the Dresden campaign believe that their duty has been fulfilled with their victory, and they're not keen on staying in the garrison. Those from Kenabres wish to return home and rebuild the ruined city. Lastly, there are those who are afraid of lingering in a place where demons might show up with a retaliatory expedition at any moment. My suggestion is to improve living conditions for the privateers, raise their pay, give them extra rations, and reward those who have distinguished themselves on the battlefield with commendations and gifts. Soldiers don't want to leave armies that appreciate them. I feel for those folks, but we have to convince them to stay. And we might get some help from the servants of the gods. They'll tell the soldiers that the danger has not yet passed and inspire them to keep up the fight against evil. As long as the wound is open, the whole world is in danger. We can't just go home and live like we used to, no matter how badly we want that to happen. Most of the Crusaders are volunteers, but they have no right to subvert military discipline. That kind of attitude is tantamount to treason, regardless of who expresses it. We have to identify the instigators, arrest them, and administer harsh punishment to make an example of them. This problem is quite simply solved with coin, but handing money out to privates is practically throwing it away. We need to pay the officers handsomely. They'll figure out how to raise their subordinates' morale. Everyone is a freaking lunatic here from my advisors. Tell me, Captain, what does the Staff Council do? Make sure whenever orders are given, they're executed properly. Keep the soldiers' morale high. Have questions for the council? Scylla, what do you bring to the council? We're not fighting for a sawmill here. This is a crusade against the abyss. When you're up against demons, you bring a paladin. It's a rule that's tried and very much true. Rigel, what do you bring to the council? Extensive experience being in command, and as a Hell Knight I possess a firmness that some of your other officers may be lacking. The essence of my council is not to spoil your troops, but to maintain their discipline strategically. Amidst the chaos of war, a general has to be a beacon of order and purpose for their soldiers. They will be just as grateful to receive rewards of lashes from such a general, and most importantly, they won't even think to disobey their orders. Diran. Mostly I'm just waiting for it to end, but since I have little choice, I'll give you some advice on how to charm your subordinates. Be they people of importance or simple commoners, I'll tell you the biggest secret straight away. Free money. Gold has the most miraculous power there is. Captain Hartman, why did the Queen appoint you to preside over this council? I've been in the Assyrian infantry for 100 years, fighting for 3 pharaohs. That after I joined the Crusaders, I served Her Majesty Godfrey for 2 more decades. I dare to hope that I've gained decent experience over those years. Let's discuss our options in further detail. Scylla, what's your plan? Morale is high, we just won a major victory, so some have let down their guards. We have to call for priests and paladins to get in through the volunteers. It is still early for celebration. If they leave for their homes today, Dresden will fall again tomorrow, and the day after, the demons will show up on their doorstep. Servants of the gods are indeed the masters of sweet-talking others into dying free of charge. All through pretty words. Well, when the choice comes down to inspire preaching of homemade pies, 9 of every 10 will look for comfort in their home and at their table. Their incentive needs to be more substantial than wasted breath. Rigel. There is no place in the army for the mindset of playing soldiers today than going home tomorrow. These dangerous ideas must be suppressed with the utmost harshness. We'll identify the most vocal rebel rousers and exact punishment on them as an example to others. They may be volunteers, but they join the ranks of the Crusaders. Can I bet in the rejection of the responsibilities, or will be heading toward complete chaos, therefore defeat? That's a great plan if you want your soldiers to run back home twice as fast. They came here of their own volition. We must convince them to stay, not terrorize them into fighting. Diran. Force is in good spirits, it's just that the euphoria of victory has gone to a few heads. No one can sober them up quicker than the officers, especially those of lower rank. We'll give our dear oaths, all those sergeants and corporals, a bonus on the sly, and promise to sweeten the deal once they convince the volunteers to stay. Perhaps they will do so over a beer mug, or maybe with a broken nose. Why bother solving problems yourself when you can push them off on someone you pay? Your bot loyalty will run out even sooner than your gold. Once soldiers turn into profiteers, instead of following orders, they start appraising them. They'll wonder whether or not it's worth their while to obey their general. I hardly need to explain the effects this will have on discipline. You know, everyone is right and everyone is right. Everyone is right and everyone is right. Like literally. Hartman, what would you advise? The volunteers believe that we almost won. Great. Let's not ruin this pretty illusion. Instead, we'll turn into our advantage. We'll increase rations and pay for the privates, rewarding the most distinguished with commendations and gifts. Who would abandon the victors when they provide you with good food and even better coin? It's naive to expect the troops won't understand that we would just be trying to appease them. An army cannot stand if it's held together by handouts and desperate promises. We shouldn't lie to our soldiers. If we build up flimsy illusions now, that they will shatter them later. Those fighting alongside us must recognize the seriousness of the situation instead of celebrating victory when the war has just begun. Issue the privates a pay rise and improved rations. Increases morale, leadership. Diran pay the officers and promise that they'll get more if they stop the drain on manpower. You know, it depends what mythic path you chose. Alright. Lich, Devil, you're gonna go with Rachel. Trickster, you're gonna go with Diran. Angel, Azata, and similar bullshit, you're gonna go with Scylla or with Hartman. It's really the matter of choice now what you took. Glory of the Heroes. 30 days decree. 14 days decree with Rigel. Biggest increase in morale. Recruitment growth for trainable units will reduce by 10%, and the cost of mercenary units will increase by 10%. Increases morale. Then we get huge finance points and leadership. Gotovo, a? Evo stižem. Leadership. How can I fucking know? Think about it while I have a dinner. My lunch is ready. Guys, we need to make a pause. 7 hours playing without a break. 10-15 minutes and I'll be back. Then I'll decide what to do. Be right back very fast. Alright. I need to make a choice here. Oh my god, let's put Scylla in charge for this run. See, Brezon is done. It says it will be finished in 3 days. I thought I was more than 3 days outside. Weird. What shall we do? We got new decrees open. Victor, how are you doing, Victor? Thanks for the raid. Guys, hello to everyone. What's new, Victor? How's the run? And what was the bug? How did you trigger the bug for the wall not to open? Some wrong option in conversation or what? What was it with Yaniel? She died. She died. You know that it's not Yaniel, it's Arilu Warlash. I doubt Arilu Warlash can die, goddammit. We're gonna study the Sword of Valor. It is buggy. The further you are, prepare for more bugs. Just make sure to manually save on every hour and have spare copies. I hold them here, you know. I copy save every day. All of my save files, as you can see. Once I start tomorrow again, I'll just rewrite this. So if some shit happens, I'll have saves. Do that non-stop. It's a must. It's always like that with Owlcat. You learned your lesson. 4 wasted hours. I wasted 4 days with Kingbake. Do the relic. And that's it. Can't do anything else. Let me see the map. It's nice. Oh, it has game-breaking bugs, just so you know. Xanhos, thanks for the follow. Be mindful, the further you are, the more game-breaking bugs there are. Okay? Already people are having problems later on in the game. Completely corrupting save files and similar shit. Just so you know.
Onwards!
As far as I know, biggest problems are with Camellia. Her quest line can bug the entire game out, and with Greybore. So these two, be careful, have saves, spare saves when you play. I have a good sleep, Victor. Alright, what I wanted to do. Check the journal finally. We killed the dragon. And we killed Mandragoras. I to inform Mirabet about the victory. Let's see, maybe I get some XP. Holy shit, we might even level up now. Finally.
Move out!
I can't wait. That's gonna be huge. Give me enough for a level. I taken care of the dragon that was attacking our patrols. Level. 800 XP for a fucking dragon. One less problem to contend with. Now we can take the extra lookouts of a dragon duty and resign them to most useful task. Excellent work. 1000 XP. I really want to level up. Where's the storyteller? Where's the storyteller? I set him free. Where is he? He said he was gonna be in a castle.
Head on!
Does someone in chat knows where the storyteller is after you set him free after the dragon? So I go directly to him. Outside, not far from the entrance. Let's see, maybe I get the XP out of him. I really want to level up. How long was I on pause? More than 30 minutes. Hand of the Inheritor. Storyteller. On what side? Over here or up there? Storyteller. Doesn't look as old. Have you brought me a new story? I want to discuss our encounter in the Dragon's Lair. Wondering how I ended up there. Why I wasn't killed, am I right? Why did you go to the tower? Looking for a certain tower for several years now. In that place I had strange feeling of recognition. It seems the tower once belonged to me a long time ago. Knowing my habits, I assumed that some records of other items that could answer the questions about my past may have reminded me in my home. Fortunately, I realized too late that the tower was now the lair of a monster. How come the dragon didn't eat you? Despite their beastly tempers, dragons are clever creatures. Their way of life does not lend itself to civilized conversation, which is why they do sometimes enjoy a good chat. And even more, a good story. That was what saved me. I had to share a few of my stories with the dragon, hoping to win her over, or at least distract. Did you find anything of value inside the tower? Yes, thanks to you, the dragon didn't have time to burn everything. I found the memories of my previous life, which I've forgotten long ago. Once again, please accept my gratitude for miraculous rescue. I hope I never again have cause to meet a creature as voracious as that dragon. I found a page that might interest you. No, the notes. From the past he forgotten. Ah, this is important now. If you find more pages like this, please bring them to me. We need more. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Now it is just a shard of the past, but I feel its power. The elf carefully strokes the handle of claw. Only a great power can resist the most terrifying of enemies, oneself. Please allow me to immerse myself in this memory and learn the story of the spiritual resurrection of the greatest of silver dragons. A fragment of a ring appears in the old man's hand. What a powerful item. The ring was created by an inquisitive and free mind. As a rule, such people either become geniuses and creators of a new era, or meet tragic ends. What was the fate of the creator of this object? We can find out together. Get me 4 vials of magic essence and 2 bars of cold iron, and I'll reforge the ring. Restore an antique ring. The old elf gently touches the crumpled metal of the gauntlets, sends the souls of the 2 who were bound to the relic. One was an animal, the other a man, but neither was the master of the other. They were brothers, a most intriguing tale. Do you want to hear it? If you bring me 1 vial of magic essence, 4 bars of cold iron, and 2 vials of demon blood, I can revive the relic. Shall we? Tell me Tyrandelev's story to the end. How many times has the moon died and been reborn since I've been here? I lost count. My friends brought me here. They said goodbye to me like always. But they looked at me like it was the last time they see me, cowards, insidious spawn. They were glad I was going to die, but I'll show them. Tyrandelev will live. A new Tyrandelev, whose eyes are finally open. I hear the rustling of winds and I emerge from the cave where I imprisoned myself. Who is it? A friend, an enemy. Sunbeams refract off his scales as he hovers before me, surrounded by a glowing halo. The gold dragon, Alasalax. A part of me wants to fly to him and make a circle of honor around him, as any good student should, but a part of me that turned my scales black is ready to seize his gleaming throat. How dare he fly here, flaunting his purity and innocence? He wants to humiliate me, drag me through the mud, but I will show him. No, what I'm thinking, my mentor has come all this way to save me, I know. He would never abandon me. Someone called him to my aid, moving heavily. I take flight to greet him, but my body, controlled by the foulness, straightens like an arrow. His vulnerable throat is so close. One strike and I will destroy you. Lasaliax. What happened next? I don't know, but I know the place where Tyrandelev was believed to have sought refuge for her tarnished soul. I saw Sarkorian ruins, a wide breaching tree next to them. Perhaps there will be something there. Can you say anything about Tyrandelev's future? 110 XP. God damn it, I need 1000. Sometimes I hear her voice in the visions. Her voice full of pain and despair. She's in a darkness which she cannot escape. I cannot solve the mystery of this vision, but it worries me. Give storyteller the ring fragment and the necessary materials. Restore this relic. Melted shard of a ring, magic essence and cold iron. Ring of summoning. 800 XP. Did I level up? The storyteller sets the ring fragment in the bars of metal on his open palm. He clenches his fist, crumpling the metal like paper, and pours essence from the vials over it. You feel terrible heat rising from the elf's hand, and when he opens his fingers, you see a beautiful ring. A remarkable object this. It was created by a talented spellcaster and is able to summon beings from other planes, as if the boundaries set by Pharasma do not exist for it. It is powerful and dangerous item. It was created by an honorable person. That is probably why it was not used at the crucial hour. A ring of summoning. Ooh, more elven notes. What? Is it bugged? No, I got elven notes. We're gonna see storyteller's story. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. What happened after the Earthfall? It's been 2 years since I started to serve the darkness. She found me in the Ivory Labyrinth, her gaze piercing through all my protective spells, as if they had been cast by an untrained apprentice rather than the last Archmage of Kionin. She's powerful and insidious. She's the perfect assassin. Her name is Nocticula, so he met Nocticula, the demon that spawned behind him while he was in the Ivory Labyrinth. And he was in the Ivory Labyrinth to try and stop the Cataclysm, to merge planes, and to spread Cataclysm to all other planes, so every plane would survive. Nocticula is a demon lord of assassins, darkness and lust. Lady Nocticula is beautiful but deadly creature. Nocticula may be close to becoming the second demon to ascend to divinity. With Pharasma. It's been 2 years since I started to serve darkness, blah blah blah, and her name is Nocticula, okay. She invited me to Alushinra, the city of demons in the depths of the abyss, the capital of the Midnight Isles. The lady in the shadow highly values my ability to remain unnoticed. Kneeling before her throne, I listened to her praise and felt like a child being given a pat on the head for doing some simple chore for the first time. But this is no longer important. Now I serve a demon lord. Storyteller served a demon lord. For this is our agreement. She will help me decrypt the scribbles I copied in the Ivory Labyrinth. In return, I'll serve as her court mage and spy for the next 17 years. Now Lushinura is my home and Nocticula is my lady in shadow. Tell me about your life in Alushinura. Of all the places in the abyss, it's the most civilized. My lady wants to make her capital the face of the abyss. A place travelers from other planes can visit without too much fear. I don't care, I'm here only to complete my service, get the promised reward and return to Golarion. However, strange as it may be, Alushinura demons treat me honorably. They hate me, sometimes growl at me, but they never attack. I prepared many spells and I'm ready to use them at any moment, but I've had no reason to yet. I have my own tower in the upper city, not far from the lady's palace. I strengthened it with protective spells and set golems to guard it. I created a portal to Golarion at the top of the tower, one which only I can use. It will be my escape route if I need to flee urgently. I expect an attack every day, but it never happens. This might sound ridiculous and surprising, but I think the demons of Alushinra respect me. You trusted the demon lord. My lady in shadow has no reason to hide the truth from me. She does not care about my research. She offered me help out of curiosity. I'm something of a bizarre pet to her, both funny and useful. She offered me help and I agreed. I must thank my lady for her generosity. 17 years of service for translating 17 phrases from Baphomet's Labyrinth. A bargain. Continue. I can't smell anything but sewage. I can hear some demon snores or death rattles. Hidden by a cocoon of spells I keep in Invisible watch in a dirty alley in a Lushinira lower city. Two winged shadows sweep past overhead and a terrible stone-splitting shriek rolls like a tide through the streets, but it can't hurt me. I know the ways of this city and have protected myself from Galaxia's wild antics. My voluntary partner, a young half-elf named Kinney, sighs loudly and says yet again, "They're not coming." I shrug just as I've done many times before. "I'm not keeping you." Kiney frowns and turns away in response. I sneak a look at my friend. His unruly locks fall over his place. Kiney carelessly sweeps them out of his eyes, thinking about something. Found myself enjoying his gentle movements and look away, embarrassed. Have a little more patience, my friend. Soon our goal will be here, I'm sure of it. You mentioned Alexia. Tell me about her. The maddest succubus of all of those born in the abyss. Even my lady in shadow can smile upon hearing of the latest mayhem she stirred up just for fun. Surrounded by her 3 succubi friends known as the Sinners, she flies naked over the city, crushing buildings with her raging screams, grabbing poor passers-by, taking them up in the air and dashing them down onto the rocks, getting into raging fights with no rhyme or reason. Truly, Alexia is the bane of Alushinira, but also its wild heart. I didn't expect to find you. Had a partner? I didn't expect it either. Kinney is from Golarion, just as I am. He's a thief and a former slave. He escaped from the Cyclops of the Dying Empire. Met him before I left Golarion for the Abyss, in my old tower. A thief who sought not my life but shelter. A place to spend the night, and protection from his former masters. My charms worked. Kinney couldn't get past the ground floor of the tower. That's where I found him, sitting on the floor, entangled in my trap's living vines. I freed the helpless thief. I wasn't angry at his intrusion. I was even glad to talk with the restless youth of the short-lived book. No idea how much I missed companionship. After that, Kinney often spent the night in my tower, partaking of my hospitality. Together we lived through the terror of Earthfall, and when the time came, I took him with me to the Abyss. Recently he has even helped me carry out some of my lady's tasks, those that give him the opportunity to make some money. Does your partner know about your goal to save Golarion? He does. We discussed my plans many times, sitting at the top of the tower, nursing goblets of warm wine. Kinney shares my love for our dear Golarion and supports my desire to save its doomed civilizations. My friend is not like me at all. He's young, hot-tempered and mischievous. He prefers to act first and deal with the consequences later. Perhaps this is why we get along so well. Opposites attract. Finally, my patience is rewarded. I see a slouching demon in rags, so pathetic that even the demon guards of Alushinira would not lay a hand on him out of disgust. But my spell-enhanced vision can't be fooled. I see the incubus Zephyrian, the ruler of Alushinira, who answers only to the lady in shadow herself. Passing a step away from me, Zephyrian stumbles and falls into a puddle of sewage, rousing disdainful chuckles from the few witnesses. But I won't be fooled by this game. Instead, I concentrate, becoming even more focused. My lord, I discovered this crystal of unknown power on one of the Midnight Isles. Have a look. A hand holding a heart-sized crystal burning with purple flame emerges from under the rags. The incubus' hand is shaking, the skin on his palm slightly smoldering from touching the crystal. The demon's reflection in the puddle of sewage ripples and changes. I don't hear Zephyrian talking to his mysterious lord. The incubus hides the purple crystal back under the rags. As you wish, my lord. No Nocticula knows nothing about these crystals, I'm sure. Of course, Lord Sokod Benot. The demon lord Sokod Benot is the patron of sexual and other hedonistic gratification, seeing the world as his plaything, one that serves up the violence and destruction of which he especially is fond. He's the brother of Nocticula. I have no desire to stand in the way of a demon lord. I turn around, you see Kinney. We're able to get evidence of Zephyrian's treason. I was right. But my friend is nowhere to be seen. Who is Sokod Benot? Sokod Benot. A disgusting demon lord, champion of meanness, debauchery, perversions, and breaker of taboos. He is Nocticula's brother and former lover. Out of jealousy, he tried in vain to kill my lady, but he remained alive after the attempt. He's driven by fear, shame, and hatred towards his powerful sister. Oh, dear God, I read an entire book today. I'm standing at the top of my tower. There is a goblet of warm wine in my hand. Nocticola was pleased with my raid. Oh no, she won't kill Zephyrian on the spot. My lady punishments are much more sophisticated. Banishing, demotion, even transformation into the pathetic creature the incubus was masquerading as. Nocticola has a lot of choices, I don't care. I've done my part. I sipped from my goblet and turned to my friend. Without saying a word, Heaney takes out a rag from under his shirt and shows me the purple crystal wrapped in it. I chuckle. That's where my friend went at the end of the raid. He stole the crystal from a demon. We're going to keep the crystal. I will study its properties in detail and find out if it will help us achieve our goal. Nocticola doesn't have to know I have the crystal now. Let her look to Zephyrian or her demon lord brother for it. I drink from the goblet again and look down. Alushinira lies at the bottom of the tower like a faithful dog at the feet of its master. I earn respect here. Even the lady in shadow heeds my words. I feel treacherous smile appear on my lips. Of course, when 17 years have passed, I'll return to Golarion, but for now, I like my life here. I served the Demon Lord, and what's more, I liked it. I did not expect this from myself. I was completely different thoughts, desires, motives. What made me change so much, I don't know. I got more Elven pages. I don't have any more. We leveled up. We leveled up. Man. Everyone leveled up. This level is huge. Huge. Everyone gets feet. No, I swear to God, today I really was reading a lot. There was a lot of conversations today.
Onwards!
Oh man. Let's begin. Level 11. It took 3 days for a level. And I played on average like 10 hours a day. What we get is a feat. I'll stick with a shield better, I don't wanna mix. Angelic aspect on level 13. Serenity. Through seeing. This is classic athletics, law, religion, persuasion. Here we go. It's a shield master. Your mastery of the shield allows you to fight it without hindrance. You do not suffer any penalties on attack rolls made with a shield while you're wielding another weapon. Add your shield enhancement bonus to attack and damage rolls made with the shield, as if it were a weapon enhancement bonus. Man. That shit is OP for me. $11, 6 to 11. Shield Master. My pet grew. Beanswood is now really a Beanswood. Now it's suitable for a mounted combat. Beanswood. 15! From 11 to 15, no more penalties on a shield. Now I smack with a shield exactly as hard as I smack with a warhammer. Holy shit. Do you know what's two weapon fighting without penalties? See what the other feats are. But it's probably gonna be this one. Shield Master. I have a shield better. Shield Master. Shield focus. Greater shield focus. Ray shield. Two weapon fights. It just fits the style.
Let's move already.
See what the rest of the feats are, by the way. I just checked the one I think is the best. And it will be Shield Master, no penalties. I can specialize a Warhammer with +2 bonus on damage rolls. I can go with improved crit. I can get attack rolls with a greater weapon focus. Greater shield focus is flat armor class. This next level for me, I get fortification 50. A 3P. And a sacred weapon +3. Anything else useful here? Perhaps. Yeah, I like Hammer the Gap. Hammer the Gap is fucking crazy good. Both for melees and ranged. It's just great. Nothing more to say about it. Extremely useful on all classes. I'll get it. Just the question when. Probably on the next level. You know what? I took the best one, definitely. Shield Master. It's just way too fucking good. Way too fucking good. Mounted combat. You finally grew. With your own personal inventory. I'll need to equip the monster. Man, you're fucking big now. What on earth? Look at the size of this thing. You really are a bismuth. Next. Grave War. Slayer. Place 1 point into Ranger. And marked favored enemies as Dragon. Because I was hunting a dragon. This level is absolutely huge for a Slayer. But I would need to respec. Don't need to respec immediately. I can respec on level 12. Better to say on the next level, so I can grab these also. Since I don't need Ranger anymore. I needed to do it because of a dragon. Advanced talents. Study target. And Slayer talent. And a feat. Huge this one. Athletics, mobility, stealth. Perception. 2 weapon fights. Dwarven War Axios. Sneak attacker. Hammer the gap. Power attack. Weakening wound. Double slice. Improved 2 weapon. Improved crit. On a Dwarven War Axe, yeah. Yeah, it needs to be like that. Although he does need team feats, you know. He does need team feats. Critical focus is also a must on a Slayer. Improved initiative is great. Sohei pumps it all. You did everything on Sohei. But if you ask about main stat, if I remember well, it's strength. Because you plan to use weapons, yeah. What do you wanna play with nunchakus? He needs both outflank and precise strikes. Okay. Both. And then everything else. But this is the pure profit. Pure profit. It's +4, fuck it. You won't get more of that. He received a lot of new ones. A lot of new ones. Constitution damage, dirty trick, uncanny dodge, trap, trap find, trailblazer, terrain mastery, and Lord Nature. Mind effect conditions will scale with dexterity. Extremely useful, by the way. Extremely useful. Especially for someone that wants to get in quickly and burst. You can't get charmed, dominated, Slippery Mind is just way too good. But I would love to see if I can get another team feat, maybe. Or improved crit. This is also broken, okay? Opportunist. Completely broken. You can make an attack of opportunity once around when some of your allies smacks the target you're smacking. It's also extremely broken. Hammer the Gap is just brutal good on all characters that deal damage, physical damage. You cannot provoke attacks of opportunity when standing up from prone. Save throws against poison. Mark a prey. Add sneak attack damage to all attacks made against the prey, even if not flanking or flat-footed. Stealth, familiar. Dispelling attack. Crippling. Combat style or combat trick. Combat style. Two-weapon combat. Greater two-weapon fighting. Improved two-weapon fighting. Double slice in two-weapon fighting into greater. Get a third attack with your offhand weapon, albeit at -10 penalty. And a combat trick. I think this is easy one. Precise strikes. We get both team feats, okay. Pure profit. Precise strikes into outflank. One level it took for me to fix the Slayer. And to accommodate the entire team. Only one level it took. Now he's a fucking beast. I can't wait to see the damage output. Need to ramp up his stats a bit though. What we do with Regil? Armiger or a Hell Knight? There's a Hell Knight, we get nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's a good team fits on him. As an Armiger, we get armor training. As a Hell Knight, we don't get a thing, then we get armor training. And then we get Force of Will and Disciplines. Till I reach teaching moment, man. I'll tell you now how it works in detail. I mean, I get more out of armor training now. Stick with Armiger. improved crit, improved your weapon, Piranha Strike. You need to hit non-stop like you said, but it's gonna multiply damage, okay? That's how it works. Not to mention if you crit. So... if you get lucky with like 3 lucky rolls as a Slayer or a Barbarian or a Blood Rager or a Monk, with just 3 lucky rolls you can burst the shit out of enemies. Not to mention if you crit. Only 1 crit is needed. For example, on a first attempt or a second attempt in a round. Now imagine with a monk. With a monk you swing like 6 times later on. Okay. After level 16, let's say. And you hit normally full attack. It begins stacking. Hit second time, you will hit. Then you hit third time with a crit. After that the enemy explodes. Now same thing applies for all of those that deal physical damage. Or Hammer the Gap. It could be that it's broken on a monk, but I don't know if you can make a lich out of a monk. But it could be broken, yeah. You lose the stacking damage bonus when you miss, yeah. It's not a spell that you open up your characters with. From level 1 to 10, Hammer the Gap is bad. Hammer the Gap is good from level like 11, 12 and above. Extremely good after level 15. How come Rigel doesn't have toughness? I should go with improve. I'll bait at -5 penalty. Get a second attack with the offhand weapon. Or just improve crit. Fucky final now. We go with improved your weapon fight. Cleric. Oh. Finally. Fucking finally. Shitload of spells. It doesn't say in description because of multiple classes. Every class has different scaling in damage. It depends on attributes, it depends on feats, it depends on team feats. There is a calculation, of course. I would take back to back, but I'm gonna need to wait till level 13 for others to get it. Back to back is great. Versatile spells like spell focus. I don't wanna fuck it up with spell focus, especially since I get new spells now. A lot of offensive spells on level 6. A lot of offensive ones. Three levels higher. Spells. Only Maximize uses 3 levels higher, the rest of them are 2 levels higher. No, you get the fuck out. Quicken is +4. Twice as long. twice as long buffs. What are my choices basically? Twice as long buffs with meta magic, a warrior priest, improved initiative, extra channel, or I specialize in some of the schools. I also got defensive combat training. Trip this armor sunder. I don't have that many options, you know, for a cleric. Clerics basically do not need any feats, to be honest. They really don't need any feats at all. Buffer clerics, I'm not speaking about damage dealing clerics, necro clerics, evocation clerics. They do need feats a lot. Then they need spell penetration and so on. But buffers and healers, they don't need it as much.